change shape. You hit me in the places I feel like I need you.
Why Am I Still Here is really a sort of existential love letter. I wanted to think about the nature of existence. I wanted to think about how we are situated in the natural world versus the man-made world. And it's really an album about where we find our purpose in a world that often seems devoid of it. And I hope by the end of the record there's a hopeful note to take away, to keep sort of finding that purpose and refinding it. And the whole album is my journey through that. It's a journey that moves from a more hopeless to a more hopeful place by the end of things. Alrighty, you good? Yeah. So I knew that this was going to be an album that was multi-genre, that I was going to be weaving in and out of genres in much the same way as we weave in and out of phases in our lives. And you know, there's a real homage to those phases. There's some 90s sounds and yeah, some kind of grungy sounds, rock sounds that just differentiate from the more folky sounds of the album. And whenever I was thinking about that genre weaving, the first person who came into my head was Don Maple. And it was fantastic to just bring him in for 2 tracks on the album, Why Am I Still Here and Heavy Being Mine. And these were the tracks that I felt really were pushing the limits of those genres. And so it just made sense for me to bring someone in who is just so good at that.
Yeah. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. Yeah.
You get this push and this pull in the album, Why Am I Still Here? And you hear that in Why Am I Still Here? You know, what's the point of all this? But then you also have when you look around at all the beauty to be found. And it is sort of that tension in life between the things that are beautiful in the natural world, in your relationships, in the meaning that you find in your interaction with other human beings, versus the darkness and the blackness of that fear that it means nothing. And I think the album is really my journey through purposeless to purposefulness. You know, we work through my own self-doubts and the dark places that I've been into, how I navigate relationships in the face of that, into a more hopeful future that sort of positions the self in a place of becoming and progress and consistent progress. And that progress doesn't need to be huge. It can be, you know, this is what Courage Can Be Quiet is about. It can be the little things. It can be getting up and brushing your teeth in the morning. It can be going for that daily walk that takes you out of a dark place. So I hope by the end of the record there's a more hopeful note. Japanese.
Beautifully Gentle from Sarah McCready featuring King Cedar. Sarah is an artist from Northern Ireland who we have played before with the debut album Why Am I Still Here, due for release soon.
Q Radio, I'm Olga Kay, and I'm delighted to be speaking to rising talent, singer-songwriter here in Northern Ireland, Sarah McCready. Hello, Sarah.
I think Wildflower probably captures this in the most pure form on the album. But in general, I'm really interested in the idea of the sublime. When you think about the word awful, it stems from the word awe. And it is that place between... there's not that much distance between what's beautiful and what's terrifying. And I think that's something that I was really interested in capturing in the nature of being, but also then in the production of the album and the production choices that myself and my co-producer Matt made to just make you unsettled at certain points and place that beauty and that easy listening alongside something that is quite jarring and quite disturbing, because I do feel that is what life does.
It's all lined up.
Yeah, it's very, very much on the beat now. We're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And just some lovely solo work here at the end. Here. This is a totally unprompted comment.
Under your head. Yeah, it was only like the 100th take.
Making this album with Matt was just such a joy. We have a band together called Fall Coffee Collective, and we just get each other. There's a lot of music that I've introduced Matt to, sad girl music, Soccer Mommy and Phoebe Bridgers and all that kind of thing. And then he introduced me to a lot of 90s music. He got me on to Alanis Morissette and Dave Matthews and a lot of things that I hadn't really given the time of day to before. And I think we just have a very harmonious producing relationship. And that just made this whole process so much easier to work with somebody who, is a friend. It was so much fun, and it was a mix of being in the studio and being very highly caffeinated at all points, with the odd pint of Guinness thrown in, and lots of car mixing sessions. I think that the car mixing sessions are the way forward. It's a great way to mix tracks and also just to get out of your head, get out of the studio, like when you're getting that cabin fever, just to go for a drive and listen to everything. And the cover for this album was actually a night that we drove out to Newcastle, and there was the most beautiful sunset, and to me it just felt like it resonated with a lot of the themes that I'm exploring in the album. And when you see things like that, it does cause you to pause and think about your purpose here, like on this planet. And it was a super fun experience.
Not getting old. Not getting old.
Sarah's one of those artists that just puts so much thought and consideration into everything that she does, and this album is a testament to that. Every song, every lyric, every melody is just so well thought out, well constructed, so connected, and really reflective of Sarah as an artist. And it was such a pleasure to be involved in 2 of the tracks on the album, Garden Ghost and Older, the nostalgia version.
Still got time. I still got time.
When Sarah asked me to be part of these tracks, it wasn't even a question. I was immediately on board and immediately so excited to be a small part of what's such an impressive body of work. And I'm so excited for it to finally be out in the world after kind of watching it develop through its different stages and just watch how much work went into it behind the scenes. I've been a fan of Sarah's music for years, and I've kind of watched her develop as an artist from the outside and only got to know her better over the past couple of years, and it's been such an interesting window into her creative process and how she writes and how she produces, and really she's just been such an inspiration to me as an artist.
It was so much fun recording this project with Sarah because it wasn't just a singer-songwriter album. There was every kind of music here, everything from like 90s grunge, heavier stuff, lighter stuff, to maybe more electronic stuff. There were weird effects, there were vocal harmonies, and there were just excellent stories, which of course is the basis of any good album. It was also class to just be able to work on this music that I already really enjoyed from Sarah's demos, and be able to help flesh those out and sort of bring them to completion. But there also comes a worry with that. There are songs like How Could You Be With Me, which, had such raw emotion in it, and the demo of that is something that I had listened to an awful lot. And there was always the worry that whenever you bring that stuff into the studio, that you'll lose something. But Sarah brought the performances, was able to recapture all of that emotion, and we ended up with something pretty special.
Making an album, I think, has probably been the biggest dream in my life for as long as I can remember, since I was a child and first picked up a guitar at 10 years old. And now on the other side of it, this has been a long process, and I'm very fortunate to have had support from such a network of people and friends, and also funding bodies like the Arts Council of Northern Ireland, who've helped me make this possible. And this has taken a long time, but I don't regret that. I think the tagline I kind of use to sum up this album is that it's the chronicling of my 20s. And, these are songs that I've written over the past 6-7 years of my life and produced over the last 2 or 3. And now, as I go to bring these songs into a live setting at the album launch in the Courthouse on the 31st of May, I'm really on the other side of things. I feel like this album has bookended this chapter of my life. I just turned 31, and I like to think that a lot of things that I'm grappling with in this album, I'm dealing with a lot better now, and that working through this album and meeting the people that I worked on this album with, all of those things have taught me lessons and made me a better person. And it makes me really excited about what music can do, about what collaborating with people on music can do, how close you can get to people when you're making music. This has just been so much fun, and I'm so excited to play these songs live and to see what the future holds. It's gonna be a wild ride.
places I feel like I need